Hello gorgeous, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going over my last Shop My Stash. I try to do it every month. It has been more than a month, so I am ready to make some decisions about the products that I chose. I like to do this so that I can decide, do I love these products? Am I ready to say goodbye to these products? Are they worth keeping when I'm trying new all the time? I have a little bit of footage of some new Shop My Stash items that I have, and as I was going through, I found some stuff that I'm ready to say goodbye to. So this is kind of all the things. Old Shop My Stash status, new Shop My Stash, and a small declutter. So if that sounds interesting, just keep watching. We'll start with primers. I chose this Ulta Beauty Mattifying Face Primer, and I believe I also chose this MAC Prep and Prime. Of these two primers, for sure, this one outperforms. This one is almost gone, so I'm going to hang on to it until I completely finish it because she's not cheap. Is this my favorite primer of all time? Probably not, but it's up there. This is really good. And this one, not a fan. It does on the low side of okay, so I'm gonna get rid of it. In the foundation category, I chose this Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Longwear Foundation, and I also grabbed this Uoma by Sharon C. This is the Flawless IRL Foundation. I knew I loved this one. This was just one that I wanted to give a little more love. If I had to pick on it, it is a little more hydrating than I would need with my oily skin. However, with the right primer, this foundation looks beautiful. Which, by the way, I have the MAC primer on my face today, and I have this foundation on my face today. This one, I tried multiple times, and it looks pretty good when you first put it on, but it just doesn't wear well. It becomes very heavy, very makeup-y. I love that it's full coverage, but the thickness, the makeup look, I'm gonna say goodbye. I've heard really good things about the concealer though. Let me know if you've tried it and if you feel like I should. So this one is gonna go. This one will stay. If you have not tried the Uoma by Sharon C line carried at Walmart and online, I highly recommend. Some fantastic products and very reasonably priced. For contour, I pulled this one from Juvias place. This is their bronzer stick. I have mine in the shade Guinea, and I had a hard time with this because I just felt like it was a little too, it's funny, with the studio lights, it does not look warm at all. When I put this on my face in real life, I feel like it looks very orange, and I was really struggling with that because I've been really into cool, neutral bronzers, and this one, it just feels a little too warm for me. So shout out to Kristen Dominique, I think is where I got this tip. She said to take the e.l.f. color corrector in the blue shade. I have this in the peach shade. She put this on her cheek and then took a bronzer that was a little too warm and blended them together, and it really does work. So what I did today is I just put a little stripe on both sides, and you do have to work fast because this dries quickly. And then I put this, I like to put this on my hand, and then I blended it in, and I feel like it cools it down, or at least brings that warm bronzer to a more neutral place. So if you have a formula that you really like, or you missed your opportunity to return it, or you just want to love the product, this is hard because I have to order it online. I feel like I ordered a cool shade. I like the formula, so I'm glad that I was able to find a way to use it. So these, they'll stay. I also grabbed this Play 101 stick that I had gotten from Temu. This has a contour on the one side. As you can see, it's a little on the weak side, and a highlight on the other. That's okay. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't reach for this once. I just don't think I like how little the stick is. I have a hard time with it. I'm gonna get rid of it. For powder bronzer, I grabbed this one from Viseart. This is their Bronze Noisette, and it is a nice little compact in here with a mirror. And this one, I think it's the tone that bothers me, or maybe it's the packaging. I don't know. Something makes me not want to reach for this bronzer. because Viseart has gorgeous eyeshadows. I should have grabbed one of my Viseart palettes for my new Shop My Stash sneak peek. I didn't, but this one I'm just not reaching for, and it's a nice product. I think I got it from BoxyCharm, so I'm gonna find another home for this guy. I have this bronzer on today on top of the cream bronzer from Juvias Place. For liquid blush, I had grabbed this one from Flower Beauty. This is the Blush Balm in the shade Cinnamon. I just had lost this in the back of the drawer, and I'm glad that I pulled it. I'm enjoying it. I think I made a good dent in it. There is still some there, but it's just a very nice, neutral brown shade. The Essence powder blush that I love so much. I think it's Bespoke. This reminds me of the liquid version of that. It's like a brownie, pink, nude, neutral shade. This one's staying. I grabbed these blushes and contour from the Sephora collection, and it breaks my heart to get rid of them, but I try not to keep things in my collection that I can't show you. And while I love these formulas, this one is the Copper Flush. This one is in Over the Moon. And then this was the contour shade. What is it called? First Touch. They did a reformulation, or they just retired all three of these shades, but I'm sure I have a sister or a bestie that will enjoy using the rest of these. In the powder category, I grabbed two. I grabbed this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I made a good dent in that baby. This is in the fair shade. I used it today under my eyes and in my T-zone. I don't think it's worth the money. I think that there are drugstore alternatives to this. I would not purchase this again. I will continue using it, but I don't think it's worth the money. And the other powder that I grabbed was this one from Nars. This is their Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder, I believe. I have mine in, I don't know why I'm holding it up here. It's in the shade Creek, and this I really enjoy. I did hit pan. I do have this one on the rest of my face today. I like it because it's got some coverage. I like it because it is smoothing. I do really appreciate the sleek packaging. I do like a lot of Nars complexion products. So this one I am on the fence as to whether or not I would repurchase it, but for sure I'll use the rest of it. The lipstick I grabbed was this one from Rare Beauty. This one's special because my husband was with me. I dragged him into Sephora, and it is beautiful. This was in the shade Wise, and I did reach for this a few times. It is just the perfect rosy brown nude. It's gorgeous, wears well, love the packaging. This is a luxury experience, and I'm glad that I have it. I also grabbed this little Tom Ford sample lip that I had gotten in the red shade, which I do have on my lips today. And this one is really luxurious and pretty to put on. It just doesn't last. It wants to slide around on my lips. It is not my favorite. I put this on today and I just felt like it was going to move. It didn't feel like it was set, so I kept blotting it. And then I felt like the color was sad looking, so I ended up throwing a ColourPop gloss on top of it. This is the one from Snow White. And the last two products are eyeshadow palettes that I chose. I chose the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. That's what this one looks like, and I have beat it up. I've gotten into it plenty of times. And the other one that I grabbed was my Alter Ego Goddess. I was sad this went out of stock for a while. I thought that they had retired it, and it came back. This is what this one looks like, and this is the one that is on my eyes today. You've got some beautiful browns and golds and a teal shade, and I have so enjoyed playing with this palette for the last 5 or 6 weeks. An easy, neutral, blendable mattes, popping shimmers. Alter Ego does it great. If you've not checked out their website, I highly recommend. They do inspired palettes. This one is inspired by the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which I do not own, so I'm very appreciative to have this one. This will go nowhere. The Natasha Denona My Dream, what I have learned in my Shop My Stash is that this color story is not my favorite. This has a lot of purples and pinks, This duochrome, you know I have a hard time with duochromes. I feel like I didn't apply my eyeshadow correctly. When I see the shift, I feel like my makeup's not right. It's a thing with me. But there are some neutral shades. I've been into this copper. I've been into this little corner here is warm. I have forced myself to go over here. I love the fact that it has a black in it. So I have used it, but there are other palettes from Natasha Denona that I like more, but I'm not ready to let her go. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm glad that I made myself use it to make sure that I didn't hate it. And I don't, I like it. It's just not my favorite color story. Before I get into my new Shop My Stash, I saw some things that I knew I could just grab right now and let go of. First thing that I noticed that I grabbed to declutter, this is the ColourPop Honey palette. And this one I just don't reach for. It would be a good companion palette if you are a huge yellow person. But for me, a lot of the palettes that I own, a lot of my favorite palettes have these yellows in them. So this is just not one that I would reach for. We'll stick with ColourPop for a minute. I also have this one, and this is the Clear the Air palette. And this, I was just saying the other day that there's not often a palette from ColourPop that I do not enjoy, and this is one that I did not enjoy. So this is gonna go. I have a couple here from Temu. Here's one that I bought that is a rosy tone, and I can't get it open. Very affordable. I thought it looked like the Natasha Denona retro palette, and I've used this probably twice. It is okay, but pink is just not necessarily my thing, and I have these shades and palettes that are a little bit better quality. Here's one from Stalvana that I got somewhat recently. Actually, I have two here. In that video, I tried this glitter palette and this little single glitter pot. And this glitter palette is not bad, it's just very chunky. I'm finding, I used to be all about the glitters. I still have two palettes from Hip Dot in my drawer of makeup that has retired, but I just can't get rid of because I love it so much. Two palettes from Hip Dot. All glitters, beautiful, but a little more impactful. This little pot one was just, it reminds me very much of the Jelly Pop, the one from ColourPop, like the Jelly Much shadows that are just kind of gel, and again, no base, just glitter. This did not wear well. The Tasmanian Devil palette from Makeup Revolution. There is nothing wrong with this palette. It was adorable. I had to have it. It's just retired and not a favorite enough for me to hang on to. This one from Too Faced. This is the Natural Matte palette. This has survived previous declutters and Shop My Stashes. It still smells good, and I have had, this is one of the oldest palettes that I own. I'm not super into all matte palettes, and I do have one from Jason Wu, hint hint, I already picked it out, that I'm gonna give some love to. If I'm gonna go all matte, I'm gonna choose that one. It's newer, it's less expensive, and seemed to perform just the same. I just wish it smelled like vanilla. Is that what that smells like? Maybe vanilla cake, it's good, but it's gonna go. Here's another one from Temu, same sort of situation as that other pink one. It's like pinky mauves. Cheap packaging. It was a cheap product. It was fun to play with. I can say goodbye. And the last palette, sadly, is this e.l.f. and American Eagle collaboration. This is a great palette. I wish that it were still available, but it's not. Lots of browns and blues. I like the pan size. I loved the concept. Price was inexpensive. I had some fun with this palette, and I know I can find someone who loves it. Probably my mother. She loves silver. She loves blue. This will go to my mama. And another reason it's easy for me to say goodbye is I have a palette that really reminds me of this palette. One of my recent finds was this Glamlight and Hershey collab. This is the Cookies and Cream palette. Are these sisters? Or what? We've got the browns, the blues, the silvers, and if anything, I think Glamlight has a bit better quality. So I'll be hanging on to this guy. My mother already is coveting this one, but she's not getting it until I'm done with it. But she can have this one. A couple other silly products I'm ready to get rid of. This L'Oreal Gloomy Lotion. I went to put this on yesterday. It smells a little weird. I don't like this formula as much as the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I would say these are very similar products. This one is a little more moisturizing. I prefer the e.l.f. and because it smells a little weird and I know it's been in my drawer for a long time, it's gonna go. This Sephora Make No Mistake Concealer, it's on sale. There are 3 shades left. I think they're phasing it out. I didn't love it. It's gonna go. Lucky Chick blush that I got in my most recent BoxyCharm. I don't love the shade. I didn't love the wear time. Why would I let it take up space in my drawer? This mascara from Temu. I rarely quit on a mascara in the middle of application, and that happened with this one, so it's gotta go. The KVD liner that I got in my BoxyCharm, I did not like the way that this applied. I didn't like the way that it set super fast without the pigment and then was dragging. This is not my favorite. It's going. I think this lip stain was from the Stalvana video. It's from Amuse, and it is just, I think that's the way it goes on, and then it stains, and just, it's very light and gel-like, but I don't like it. This is the Honest Beauty Lush Sheer lip color. Again, maybe Walmart Beauty Box, because I have the matte version of this and I like it. This, I don't love the shade, I don't love the formula, I don't love the staying power. It's just a me thing. If you are a gloss girl or a lip balm girl or just like that type of thing, it's for you. It's just not for me. And now I'll hop into the footage that I took picking the new Shop My Stash items. I'll be right back. So here is the first drawer of my eyeshadows. We've got Anastasia, Kaja, some Sydney Grace, Wayne Goss, Ace Beauté, some Glam Light. Here is my big drawer. I have my Nabla back there, my You Can Be. We've got some Natasha, some Tarte, my Glam Light, my Pats, Viseart, more Natasha, LYS. Here's the third drawer where I have my MAC, Alter Ego, Beauty Bay, Morphe. This is also where I keep all of my liquid shadows. And I do have ColourPop in here. I have some palettes. That's Taupe, the Halloween. I'm going to grab this Sigma Untamed. This is in the biggest drawer. I have not played with this palette in a while, and I know it's beautiful. I think I can get some good looks out of that. In this little drawer, I have my Jason Wu. This is the Matte Agave palette. I'm going to pull this one out because I see some nice neutral summery looks here, and then I'll grab a liquid shadow to go with it. I have a few liquid shadows here, and what have I not played with in a while? I really enjoyed this one from Ofra. I'm going to grab that, and my Laura Mercier. I think I got this as a gift. I'm going to play with this one because it is beautiful. This is the Out of Control Blush and Powder Bronzer drawer. Powder blushes. Here are more cream blushes. And I'm trying to think what I have not shown a lot of love to, or what I should really be getting rid of. I'm not sure how I feel about this one here that I got from BoxyCharm, this Shaina B. I'm going to take this one, and then I want to grab a powder blush. You know, I love this one from Essence, the blush. Goldie Cassis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I want to use this blush more. It's like a purpley pink. And I think that Sigma palette has some purpley pink in it. All right, the last grouping that I want to get into is lipstick. I try to have them organized that these are like my browns and nudes. Over here are my reds, and back here are my pinks. I'm gonna grab this Pixie palette. I really enjoyed this. I did a whole video about this. I'll link it. But you have so many different color options in here for blush and for lips. I'm gonna grab this one. I'm back. So I believe I showed you the eyeshadows, the blush, the bronzer, the shadow sticks, the lip color. I am excited to use this Pixie palette again. I don't believe that I recorded this one, but I did choose the Laura Mercier primer and foundation. This is the Tinted Moisturizer Oil-Free Natural Skin Perfector. I've had these for a while. I do like them. I'd like to get some use out of them before I feel like they are expired. So I hope this was enjoyable. You got to see my thoughts on things that I hadn't been paying attention to. I said goodbye to a few things and I pulled some more things into my stash. I look forward to using these items and deciding if they stay or if they go. I appreciate you watching. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you leave. I upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. If you hit that notification bell, you'll get a notification every time that I upload. Give the video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and I look forward to speaking with you in the comment section. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.